Good morning, EP scientists. So on Tuesday, we read about how all energy that's present in ecosystems that all the organisms, all the plants, all the animals use, how that originally comes from the sun. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about why scientists argue with each other. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to take a look at a book called Why Do Scientists Argue? So today we're going to read this book to explore more about how and why scientists argue and support their claims with evidence. So we're going to read about a scientist named Rachel Carson who investigated ecosystems. She was concerned that pesticides were harming plants and animals. So pesticides are chemicals that kill insects and weeds, and Rachel Carson argued with other scientists because she wanted to convince them that her claim about pesticides was correct. So we're going to be investigating this question today. How do scientists convince others that their claims are correct? So keep this question in mind as you read the book. So think about your experiences making scientific arguments in this unit. How do you think that scientists convince others that their claims are correct? This is just your initial thoughts. What do you think scientists do to convince others that their claims are correct? So at this point, we're going to go ahead and open the book. So you want to go to your 5th grade Amplify Science bookmark. I'm going to click Log into Amplify, use our remote learning username and password. So the username again is remotelearning@tryamplify.net. The password is remotelearning2020. Scroll down and click on the Ecosystem Restoration Unit, and then click on the purple number 5. It says under it, Why Do Scientists Argue, to access the book for today's lesson. I also posted a read aloud video to Google Classroom. You can see it in classwork under the Ecosystem Restoration Unit Materials section. So first thing we want to do is preview the book. So just flip through it and take a look. What do you notice about the book? So you should have noticed that the book has 2 sets of pages. So the left-hand pages are all about Rachel Carson, and those are colored green. The right-hand pages are about scientists today, and the background is white on those. So you can read those pages in order. So you can read page 3, then page 4. So the green one and the white one on the same page, and just go in order all throughout the book. Or you can read all the green pages first, and then all the white pages, as long as you read the whole book. So what I did in the read aloud is I read the green pages first, and then went back to the beginning and read all the white pages. So as we read, you want to think about what Carson did to convince other scientists of her claim. We can look for connections between what she did and what we've been doing in our arguments. So next thing we're going to do is go ahead and read the book. So you want to read the book, and you can read the green or the white pages first, or you can read all the pages in order as long as you're reading the whole thing. When you're done, we got a couple questions to answer. So we know that a scientific argument always starts with a claim, right? So what was Rachel Carson's claim? So her claim was that pesticides kill many organisms in the ecosystem and not just insects or weeds. And then that's not what other scientists thought, right? So what did other scientists at the time think? So their idea was that pesticides only kill insects and weeds and don't harm the rest of the ecosystem. So next, we want to think about what Rachel Carson did to convince others of her claim, that her claim was correct and was supported by evidence. You can think about how this is similar to what scientists today do, and also how it is also similar to what we've been doing as we've made arguments about ecosystems. So we're going to go ahead and synthesize our ideas about how scientists argue. So you want to go ahead and open the Google Doc that's attached to today's lesson. And we're going to use this to synthesize our ideas to help us answer the question about how scientists convince others their claims are correct. So first, we want to think about what you read about scientists today. And you're going to record some ideas from the text about how scientists convince others their claims are correct in this first box right here. Next, you're going to think about what you read about Rachel Carson and record some ideas about how she convinced others her claim was correct too, in this second box right here. Then in the final box, you're going to think about your experiences making arguments about ecosystems and record your ideas about how you convinced others that your claim was correct. So right now, go ahead and complete those first 3 boxes in your Google Doc. Next, we want to go ahead and connect the ideas and record a new understanding about how scientists convince others their claims are correct. So, how is it that we can convince other scientists that our claims are correct? Okay, and you should have gotten something similar to this, right? So, this is our new key concept, and it's that scientists convince others their claims are correct by using data and ideas as evidence. So go ahead and write this down in the box up to the right now, and also in your paper notes so you can refer to it easily in the last few lessons of our semester here. So scientists convince others that their claims are correct by using data and ideas as evidence. Right? And we know that scientists make claims to to help answer their questions. So the data and ideas scientists use as evidence to support their claims come from observations. Without those observations, scientists would have opinions, but not evidence. Right? Observations are very important for gathering evidence to find answers to scientific questions. And scientists like Rachel Carson test their ideas over and over again, gathering evidence to support their claims. And once there's enough evidence supporting a particular idea, the scientific community can come to an agreement that the idea is true. So those agrees on ideas are called scientific theories. So it's only through scientific argument that scientific theories can arise. And thinking all the way back to the beginning of the year, remember that when we're talking about a theory in science, it's not just an opinion. It's not just an idea somebody came up with. It's a very well agreed upon idea that's backed up by a whole lot of evidence, right? So if somebody says, I have a theory about why the glass is broken on the floor, maybe the cat did it, that's not the same thing as a scientific theory where scientists have argued about it for years and come up with a lot of evidence to support their claim. So with that, it's going to be the end of today's lesson. So make sure that you have completed all the parts of the Google Doc, you've answered all the questions in this Ed puzzle, and when you're done, go ahead and hit the submit button. And if you have some extra time, go back and check your previous assignments that are being returned to you yesterday and throughout the day today. Make sure that they are all completed and that you can't get any points by correcting them and resubmitting them. See everybody tomorrow. Bye.